Hey everyone, hey Wellness crew, and welcome to today's reading of The Art of Contemplation, a gentle path to wholeness and prosperity. The first technique, pausing. Once we have determined what kind of mystery we want to unlock, we need to create the right conditions for contemplation to occur. This requires that we cultivate a sense of spaciousness in our life. It is as though we have a pebble and we are going to drop that pebble into a large pool of water and examine the nature of its ripples. If the water is rough and disturbed, we won't have a clear view in which to see the ripples. Pausing is the easiest of the three techniques in this book. The good news is that once you have mastered the art of pausing, the following techniques will come far more easily to you, so it is worth spending some time with it. It is also a wonderful technique in its own right. Done regularly, it can transform a person's whole life. And really quick, I just want to suggest the app Triple Flame. It gives you the opportunity to engage in pauses at 3, 6, and 9 p.m. when we tend to be perhaps at our busiest between 3 and 6. And it kind of forces you to have that pause. It's a great app. And it also shows you how many people are pausing with you at the time that you choose to pause. You can have different periods of time. You can have 3 minutes, I believe, all the way up to 10 or 15 minutes, maybe even 20. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not 100% on that. However, it is a great app to use. It's something that I use, maybe not every day like I should, but I do go ahead and take pauses throughout the day when I need to in order to bring myself back to my most authentic self. Think about the day you had yesterday. Try and recall some of the events that took place, and then think about its overall feeling. When you came to the end of the day, how did you feel? Many of us get to the end of the day and just collapse into the sofa or into the bed without a sense of the day that we just had. Thank you so much for the like. As you learn the art of pausing, your days will begin to feel very different. They will expand as though you are somehow pumping more time and space into them. Through pausing, you will also gain a wider sense of perspective on your life. Rather than simply hurtling through your day, you will see where it fits into a wider pattern. And this will give you an increased sense of patience and ease. You will begin to remember a fundamental life truth. If you push against the current, you will end up exhausted. Whereas if you find your own natural harmonic rhythm, things will operate far more efficiently all around you. The technique of pausing leads us to a wonderful paradox. The more we slow down, the more life appears to expand. In other words, the more frequently we learn to pause and take a breath, the more space we feel, and the clearer our mind becomes. This lucid mind can then make clear and unhurried decisions throughout our day. Harvesting pauses. The technique of pausing involves nothing more than noticing life's natural pauses and then simply enjoying them. Everything in nature pauses. If you watch any bird, animal, or insect, you will see it regularly pause for no apparent reason. Actually, there are many reasons for pausing. When you stop in your particular activity, you become more aware of your environment. You also become more aware of your inner environment. You may suddenly realize you are tired, or that your mind was spinning, or that your breathing has become shallow and labored. Pauses like this often invite a physical sigh, as the body remembers to draw a deep breath and let go of some tension. The first stage of the technique of pausing, therefore, involves finding and spotting the natural pauses that open up before you each day. Once you notice them, you can harvest them like fresh apples picked from the bough. Pauses are here to be enjoyed. How long is a pause? A pause can be as short as a single breath, or it can be much longer. You can begin this technique by finding as many short pauses in your day as you can. For example, when you are sitting looking at your screen, perhaps answering an email or a text, before you rush from one response to the next, try taking a few breaths between each one, and perhaps look up and take in the environment around you. Another example might be when you are in your car and you get to the traffic lights just as they turn red. Instead of feeling frustrated or irritated, you could look at it another way. Life has just gifted you a pause. In that pause, you can enter the field of contemplation. These very simple techniques can have far-reaching effects in your life. A day filled with pauses is a calm and measured day. Nothing ever becomes overwhelming or causes you too much stress. What's more, when you get to the end of such a day, even though your body may be tired, your mind will still feel clear and uncluttered, leading to a deep sleep and a fine morning the following day. Unexpected pauses. When viewed in a certain way, life can be seen as very playful. We often find ourselves in the middle of an important task when all of a sudden something interrupts us. Although we may be irritated at having our rhythm broken or our plans thwarted, we may in time learn to see such disturbances as gifts. Every break in the flow is in fact a part of a wider flow, and this is sometimes how life offers us a pause that we need, even though we don't necessarily welcome it at the time. When we accept the interruption and follow the energy that is calling us away, we often learn or experience something important that would otherwise not have occurred. Recognizing pauses as pauses rather than annoying interruptions is an important part of the art of contemplation. Sometimes when we bat away a perceived disturbance, we are really closing the door to an unexpected moment of serendipity and good fortune. You may discover this for yourself the next time an unexpected pause surprises you. The magic in the gap. Many great musicians, authors, or artists have testified that the real magic of their art takes place in the silence between the notes or in the gaps between the words or images. This is more than simply a colorful metaphor. When we pause from a rush of outer activity, all the internal energy that we have cultivated through our contemplation suddenly pops up to the surface, like a basketball that we've been unconsciously holding underwater. At such times, we suddenly remember ourselves once again, and we experience a moment of self-awareness. Such moments are like glittering jewels in our day. We inwardly slow down for a short time, our breath deepens, and perhaps we take a deep and luscious sigh. Change takes place in the gaps. Gradually, over time, as you learn to enjoy such pauses, your anxiety will diminish, your heart will soften, and you will remember once again that your life can be filled with magic and mystery. Creating pauses. A major part of the art of contemplation is to engage your own spirit of creativity. It's up to you how you create more pauses in your day. Pausing is a form of self-discipline, and it takes some time to re-imprint the habit in your life. However, once we have begun the process, it can be both fun and very revealing. There are many types of pauses. Pausing does not necessarily mean that you have to stop moving and remain still. This is only one aspect of pausing. Another type of pause is the transitionary pause between one event in our life and the next. For example, walking to work can be a pause. It all depends on how you walk. If you rush headlong down the street while at the same time gazing at your phone, this is not creating a pause. If, however, you saunter along the road at a leisurely pace, enjoying the fact that you are truly savoring this moment, then perhaps your lips will curl into a smile, and for a few moments you will feel truly free and relaxed. There are many such moving pauses in our lives. Walking is one of the great contemplative activities. Running can also be a wonderful way to contemplate, as can any aerobic activity that allows you a feeling of freedom. Your pauses can be silent or they can be punctuated with music. Anything that breaks the monotony of our ceaseless activity can be classified as a pause. The trick is to notice when pauses are happening and then to remember to enjoy them. As we have already seen, sometimes when we are in a hurry, life deliberately steps in and offers us a pause that we may feel is inconvenient. For example, we may be on the way somewhere and someone engages us in a conversation that we would rather avoid. These are moments to take note of. Instead of dropping our head and avoiding eye contact, we could try the opposite, being welcoming and warm. Most people love being listened to. Sometimes we may feel that such interactions are a waste of our precious time, but the truth is that they offer us a rare opportunity to be open-hearted and open-minded, sometimes with a stranger or a person we don't know so well. We never know what may come from such pauses until we engage with them. At the very least, we will have created a little more intimacy in the world. Another gift you may like to give yourself is to learn the art of meandering, sauntering, and lingering. This involves giving yourself more time than you need when you are going somewhere. Instead of rushing hurriedly from one place to the next, you might deliberately take a more circuitous route via a park or along a river, or even through a bustling marketplace. The trick is to be somewhere with no purpose other than pleasure and to take your time. We need to learn to saunter rather than stomp, and to meander rather than march. Conscious lingering is another particular quality of the contemplative person. It is the ability to drink in an experience by pausing longer than appears to be necessary. Once again, it is often when we give ourselves this extra spaciousness that unexpected gifts occur. For example, it is often after other people have left a meeting or a meal that a person lets their guard down, opening up a whole new level of dialogue or exchange. Pausing really can be a beautifully simple and most enjoyable technique. As long as you are a little persistent and employ some creativity, you will soon get the knack of it and begin to reap its many rewards. Thank you so much for joining me for today's reading. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and or join one of the membership tiers as it is popping off. I'll see you on the next live stream or video. Be well, stay wild as well.